Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta and welcome to my studio tour 2023. Many of you have asked me questions about this studio, how and why I use certain things, how I've routed everything, and so on. I'll try to answer them all, or at least most of them that I can remember, and show you the studio where I work every day, recording, mixing, writing songs, producing, and sometimes even mastering music, especially my own stuff. So this is a kind of like a home studio. It's in a way basement because we're in Switzerland now. I am. You're not, obviously, or maybe some of you are. So this is kind of on the not gonna say mountain, but hill. So this part is pretty much underground. There's a big window there, thick acoustic curtains there, but the back side and where my cabinets, where we're gonna go and see soon, basically underground. Because like I said, this is on a kind of, hill or slope, small mountain, whatever. Bigger mountains are more south, the Alps, but we're in kind of Jura Mountains territory. So you've seen this on many of my videos, I guess. So here, bunch of guitars. I don't even know how much I have. Several Les Pauls, Strats, Super Strats, Telecasters, Stratocasters, couple of basses, and so on. I'm not gonna go through those details because I've done videos of most of these guitars already. Then on this side I have my amp wall, several JCM 800s, Mesa Boogie Mark V, Plexi 987X, the 50 watt 5150 block letter. And they are all connected to this KHE amp switcher. So I can choose either amps by pressing on my G-Lap switcher here, what I use. I have 4 amps here, but all the H loads are, and I can just switch here what I wanna use. And then I have a Sandrox React IR, which is a reactive load and a really good attenuator. I mostly use real cabinets and hardly attenuate them, sometimes not at all. But if I'm recording late hours or whatever, sometimes I attenuate a bit. It's really cool attenuator. I can't hear any difference if it's on or off when I'm attenuating just a little bit. Of course, obviously, if I attenuate a lot, which I don't need to do because the caps will go there soon, then you kind of feel, because the speakers aren't just, woof, 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 moving air that much. And I have the 80 MP1 preamp, which most of the time is connected to the Mark V's power amp, the Simulclass 90 power amp. That's my favorite combination with my favorite preamp, power amp with the 88 preamp. So everything is always connected. These inputs come from the KHE, then all the speaker outs, they come back from the KHE, and then they go to the React IR, and the cabinet out there's nothing. If I want to attenuate, I just switch that to attenuator, and then I can control it with this. And sometimes I use IRs. This is filled with Jens Bogren's IRs, like Valovirta's my signature IR, which I actually used on a latest mix. It's a Japan bonus track for CYHRA's forthcoming album, and I recorded the rhythm guitars with real amps and my solo. And then Jesper and Marcus sent their guitar parts as DIs. They were like melodies and few solos. Those I just used Bogren's One plugins and my signature IR, which I like a lot. So that is cool. So yeah, one cable, speaker out cable, goes here to another room where the speakers are mic'd, the cabinets, 2 Marshalls, and then I have a impulse response IR out and a direct out here, which goes to my audio interface, so I can record either an impulse response here or just a direct out and add the impulse response later. Really handy. Everything is always connected. This cable, this goes to my pedal board, and the pedal board goes to Radial's reamp station, which is 2 devices in one. It's a DI box and a reamp box. So first the signal goes there, so I can record a DI signal if I want. Obviously, if I have some pedals on, they will be recorded too. I mostly use that with the bass, so I just connect my bass to the pedal board, bypass everything, then the signal goes to the reamp station and from there to the audio interface. So I don't have to plug on or off any cables. So that's the routing thing. And then the throughout from the radial reamp station goes to the input of the KHE. So everything is always connected, ready to go. I just need to turn on the amps and, you know, there you go. When I turn off this system, these go on automatically. Then the amps, I said it that I need to turn them on individually because it gets pretty hard if all amps are on all the time. Cool, that is that. And then my mixing desk, my DAW is Logic. Actually, there's a session of CYHRA's Japan bonus track open. I just finished the mix and I sent it to Jake for his approval. And hopefully he approves it, then I will send it to Jacob Hansen for mastering. And I'm using a SSL's UZ1 UF8 controllers. Amazing stuff. I love SSL stuff. The channel strips, I've used them always. Like from Waves, from Softtube, which I still occasionally use. Mostly it's these controllers and the channel strips that comes with those. The 4000B and the whatever the channel strip, I think it's 9000, you know, models. So they work great, and I can tactical mixing. I don't need to look. I don't hear a shit with my eyes. So, you know, when it comes to audio, ears. If I see a painting, I use my eyes. And then I have outboard gear. So my setup is hybrid setup. I have my main audio interface is the Steinberg AXR4T, their flagship model. Then I have slaved the UR-C8, I think, into that. So that acts only like I don't know, more inputs, more outputs, so I can have my external hardware gear connected. The hardware gear I use mostly, always. There's a CYHRA Audio's Ramside machine, really good room reverb. That's my main reverb. Then I have Yamaha SPX90, you know, symphonic presets, you know, pitch shift C, really cool presets there. I use that a lot with guitars. Then my mix bus is the SSL Fusion hardware, and on its insert point, I have a CYHRA Audio's Creme RC, which is two devices in one. It's a SSL style bus compressor and a Pultec style EQ. You know, your classic mix bus, you boost a little bit lows and highs and add a nice SSL compressor punch. So I mix into those. From the Fusion I get a little bit vintage drive, high frequency compressor, a bit stereo widening, and it has also kind of shelf EQ and you know, you can boost bottom and top end. I don't use it that much because I mainly use the Pultec style on the Creme, but on the CYHRA mix I actually use the 20K setting, so I'm boosting a little bit 20K to get more air with the Fusion in addition to the Creme. And that mix bus is pretty much always set the same. I mix into that. Very rarely I tweak the knobs, but it's mostly like that. And on this side I have my mic preamp, which is Warm Audio's WA412. It's an API style mic preamp. And there's labeled Fred. That's Fredman 2 SM57s summed in there. I'll show you how I sum them. So I get one signal from 2 SM57s. Then there's 57 VR, which is a 57 and SC Electronics VR1 ribbon mic summed together already. So I'm getting one. Then there's MD, which means Sennheiser's MD421, and 906, which is Sennheiser's E906 microphone. Those are separate. That's that. Then my main delays are TC Electronics D2 and Lexicon's MPX1. It's great, the MPX1. I have a PCM70 there, that's my friend's, but the MPX1 has basically all the same presets and it's a lot easier to program yourself. So I have made my own delay patches. Now what I'm using is called dual echoes in the Van Halen style. You know, 398 milliseconds on the other side, 7900 on the other, feedback 30, 20. It's great. That's just great because there's, you know, you can have two different delays on that one. And on the CYHRA, my main setup is kind of ping pong, so a little bit same, just to get a little bit movement. And I have the basic delay, which is kind of mono delay and stuff, but you know, your great basic delays. And then there's a Black Lion Audio's PG1 power grid, power conditioner. So if I turn this off, everything will get shut down. So this is great. When I turn this off, which I'm not gonna do now, it shuts down the stuff in a certain order, how I said it, because there's many outlets there that nothing is popping and, you know, so on. When I turn it on, you know, it turns stuff on in a certain order that nothing is popping. So the speakers are turned on the last time. It's really cool. When I'm done, I can just, you know, close everything from that. And it prevents if there's a, you know, lightning storm and any shock. It keeps also the power pretty stable. What I'm getting now is 223 here. All right, so that's basically the setup. Everything is always connected. I have a few other that are here. There's Röde. This is direct out from that, so I can hook them if I'm using those, but they are like that because I don't use them that much. So the Röde is a Röde NT2, which is my main acoustic guitar and vocal mic. Cool. And the monitors, these are my latest purchase. They're Eve Audio's SC307s. Absolutely fantastic monitors. The low end is so clear and big that I don't need a subwoofer. With my previous monitors, I needed a subwoofer to separate the low end so I could hear it more clearly. With this one, I don't need a subwoofer. They're three-way speakers, just so clear, natural sounding, and the response is really flat, which is really important when you're mixing. The acoustic treatment in this room is really DIY, you know, do it yourself. But I have measured like stuff though. The acoustic panels, the bass traps, they're actually really thick material. So everything is measured, they're exactly the same. I have acoustic panels there and a few on this side. So this room actually sounds pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's my room. I know it. I'm totally comfortable with this room for mixing and recording and, you know, whatnot. So this is basically the system, what I use. My main pedals, what I mostly use, always connected, and they are all in this G-Lab switcher. So when I have, let's say, super overdrive on and flanger, then those are the only stuff that is on. What it's not engaged here, it's not in the signal chain, so the chain is the purest as possible. Then I have this cable here. This goes out from one of the outs of the audio interface, and that's my reamp out. So sometimes, so many times when I get stuff for mixing the DI guitars, just plug that cable into my pedal board, turn on whatever amp I'm using, press rec, and then suddenly the DI becomes whatever amp I choose to use. Again, I don't have to unplug any cables. Well, I have to unplug my main guitar cable from the tuner, but that's not a big thing. Then I can easily reamp stuff. I have also pedals stored there, but these are the pedals I use the most. Alright, so yeah, this is the room, and the desk is Zaur Onda angled, if I remember correct. And the computer, it's iMac from 2020. It's the latest Intel-based Mac. It's pimped. It has a lot more memory than the stock one, and the graphic card is the best you could get by then. So I've never run out of memory, not even close. So it works for me. I'll switch to new one when it doesn't work anymore. My previous iMac was from, I think from 2010. I used that 10 years. Then I bought this because it just stopped working. It was getting too old, you know, couldn't update any plugins or anything. And I have labeled all of these, you know, dimension, round, whatever. So yeah. Okay, then let's go to the workspace room. Where is my workspace, and also where I have my cabinets mic'd. So I'm gonna move out of the picture so you can see something. Now this is my workspace, my cabinet room, and here is the 2 Marshall speakers. This one loaded with 3 Marshall vintage speakers, and then there is a Celestion V30, the new kind of with the see-through cap. Here's the mics, and this cabinet is a 1960BX Marshall cabinet with 3 greenbacks and 1 T75, where I now the MD421. So, and I'm summing these all with these Radials Mix 2-to-1 passive mixers, passive summing boxes. It's really handy. And then all of the mics, the signals from the summing boxes from these individual mics, they go to this Radial Catapult Mini. And then there's a USB or Ethernet cable that goes into my control room, and I have a similar on the other end, you know, the signal from all the signals from the mics, they go through that Ethernet cable, and then that similar thing receives that, and then the outputs, they go to the mic pre. It's really handy. And then the 2 cabinets, because I have 1 long speaker cable coming. I'm using a Polmer's cap merger. It's a passive signal merger. So speaker cable from the KHE audio comes to the Polmer, and then it's split out to these 2 cabinets. So they're always both on. I can record all of these signals at the same time, which I sometimes do, just to record everything and then, you know, see in the mix that what I want to use, either a single, you know, or a combination of these all. So the mics are SM57s, that's the SC Electronics ribbon mic there. This is Sennheiser's MD421, and that is Sennheiser's E906 there. So now this is kind of the setup I use the most. So 2 basically mics, because I'm seeing these as 1 on the vintage speakers, 1 on the T75. The MD421 works actually really well with the T75s, because the MD421 has a kind of bump around the upper midge, which makes the T75 a lot more aggressive, because it's a bit strange, the midge. And then I really like the Sennheiser E906 in front of a greenback. That's just really natural and balanced microphone, so I get the, you know, the full greenback experience. Well, that's pretty much it. There's just something to me by using real cabinets and real amps, and especially real cabinets, because I mean IRs are good, but they're not mine. Now I'm the driver. I make the sound completely from, well, I make the sound here. Amps amplify that, speakers, you know, make that audible, and then the mics capture that. And just by moving different things, blending these, I can get the exact sounds I want. And this is my workbench. I have my tools over there, you know, ironing stuff, certain everything you need to set up guitars and so on. So it's really cool. And now I have this door open, but when I close this door, it's really thick door. I can have the cabinets really loud here, and I'm not bothering, you know, anyone. This is underground completely. So it works really well. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this studio tour interesting and informative. And while I was filming, I was there, Jake replied that the mix sounds great. It's ready for mastering. So I'm actually bouncing the mix now to the mastering. Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, suggestions for new, you know, videos and stuff, please put them in the comments below. I've been really busy with work, like songwriting, playing guitar. I've done sessions to other artists and bands and mixing, but I'll try to at least put out one or two videos per week. But since this YouTube thing isn't my main, job, sometimes I have a hard time to make the 2 videos a week. But I'll try, and thank you all for your support, and check out the links in the description below. Some of them are my affiliate links to the gear I'm using, and some of them are just, I have no affiliation, I just like the stuff and use that. Alright, until next time, take care, bye. That's me. Wah wah guitar solo. Okay, bye.